when I started playing cowboys, I was given a few by an older cousin, and these two, I'm going to pop down here, are the oldest. And they were made in the early 1950s. They're not Swappets. Swappets are featured especially because they pull apart. A lot of them have really poor quality legs. Mine don't, because what I did was in later life, as in over the perhaps last 2 years, bought other Swappets and packs of here's some bits, and all of the dodgy legs, which made them look like they had piles, to be honest, because they were weird, got swapped for decent legs. So apart from these two fellas who were elderly, come away, the line I've put in the front are examples of the better ones in various classes. So the first one is a nice figure, this chap over here, and he's sort of almost like fan firing a gun. Lovely action pose. That I love that figure, I really do. Native American, very typically with feathers. And then we've got the Mexican with his sombrero, a bank robber with his mask up, the backwoodsman with the sort of beaver skin hat, they're nice, and then the cavalryman. I'm never keen on the cavalryman. I did have some Britain's American Civil War figures, but they're going to get featured later in the week because they're a bit special. You didn't buy them because, oh, that's Timpo, or oh, that's Britain's. You just bought what you could afford and what you like the look of. I suppose the main features are on the bottom. We're on the bottom of this fella. That's the Britain's. We're at the bottom of that fella. That's Timpo. Tiny little firm, Timpo. They went out of business in the late 70s, 78. A lot of people, when you go on YouTube and you look at their buildings and villages, they have an assortment of houses that are different to mine, so they have a different saloon. There is a Timpo saloon, which is smaller. It's more of a good time house. In America, the company made the most of these things were Marks, and Marks made their own buildings. And I was going to say, a lot of people on YouTube mix the pair up. They mix the two. And if I went on eBay now, I could find Marks houses and put them with these. The other thing I've done, which I don't know, I'm not trying to make any money, so I don't care, I play with my toys, but I've devalued the whole lot by finding some advertisements that are relevant to the day. So my US Marshal's office has got a wanted poster, and on the side it's got lots more wanted posters. The shop has got Boone's Dry Goods and Sundries pasted on the side. The stagecoach station has got a timetable. The same with the Silver Dollar. It's got signs about having a bath and soap for 2 cents. How much the rooms are. It's a bit, I'm going to say realism. It's not realism, is it? I've already told you on all the videos, but I based it on Four Feather Falls, which I think a wonderful puppet show. This chap, Tex Tucker, and he's going through the desert with his horse and his dog, and they're dying of thirst, and it's terrible. And suddenly at the side of the road there's a small Native American boy, and he asks for a drink, and Tex Tucker gives him the last of his drink. And to cut a long story short, the little boy, poof, turns into an Indian chief, and he's the son of this Indian chiefy god thing that turns up and says, "Aha, you have saved my son, I will grant some wishes." And Tex says, "Well, some water would be nice." So waterfall appears. I passing 4 feather falls. Oh, that's good. And then he said, well, you want more than that, you deserve more than that, so here you are, your dog is now a talking dog. There's only you can hear it talk, but it's a talking dog. And he gets a talking horse, and he gets magic guns, so if he gets captured, he has to put his hands up, his guns can still shoot. And he gets magic holsters. I don't have that in my game. But I like 4 feather falls. 4 feather falls. It's on YouTube, have a look. Give you a giggle, Tex Tucker. So that was how we started. And for a long time, that's how I played. And I resisted the desire to paint them. So I wanted them to stay like they were. But then, now I'm old. Now I'm old and grey. I wanted them to be more wargaming useful. And a friend of mine has painted all of his. And they look fantastic. And he was very kind. And my Parkinson's was playing up. And he painted all these figures for me. I'm superb, thank you so much. But as we were playing, I decided, as I do, that I wanted sort of non-player action figure type characters. And I found a company, one in Eastern Europe, I can't remember where, and one in Italy. The one in Eastern Europe sold people like this. A lady. And a different sort of lady. And then I got excited because I got a sexy lady of the night. And then I got Annie Oakley. And then things started to get very excited because I got and then I got Clint Eastwood with that poncho thing he wears. So I was very happy with those, very happy and indeed. And also Clint Eastwood came in a set from the film, and he came with his own noose and tree and spade. I had to stop for a minute because Parkinson's affects your mental capacity, and I couldn't remember the name in the yellow waistcoat with the green coat, and it's of course Wild Bill Hickok. And because I'm not editing and messing about, these are the sorts of things you're going to have to put up with, I'm afraid. So that's the town really, and I just play like I did when I was a kid. I put them in different scenarios, I stand them in different places. But the other thing I do is that all my baddies, there are 10 different versions of, well, no, that's not true. Not baddies. Possible random people coming into town. And today, actually, coincidentally, is a Friday. And I tend this to happen on Friday, Saturday. People, the ranch hands have been paid, or herds have been brought in to be sold nearby. And I throw a D10. My sheriff, the sheriff of this town, is my favourite lawman. I know. Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves, true story is phenomenal. So Bass Reeves is the marshal. On a weekend when it might get a bit iffy, he deputises somebody. And I throw a dice and to see what type of random people have arrived in the town. So imagine I put the figures all around town where they are, and then I've just thrown a 2, and a 2 is a group of Mexicans arrive. So I'll throw a D6, how many Mexicans arrive? 1. So 1 Mexican comes into town. And then, does anybody else come into town? Sevens. Sevens are, they're ranch hands. 3 ranch hands come into town. And gradually the town builds up. Now I'm looking at that thinking, yeah, that's probably manageable. I might have another number. I might say I'll throw 2 dice, and if I get an odd number, that's when I stop. Like this, I might just not bother. I might just carry on. I don't want to fill the town with too many people. So now I know where they are. I'm going to say they're all, actually, if they've any sense, they're going to Boone's Dry Goods, perhaps a bit of chewing tobacco. Perhaps they are going to the Silver Dollar. Of course they're going to the Silver Dollar. Where else are they going? If a prospector came in, he might be going to Boone's to get his gold dust sorted out. And then, I mean, these people, there's nobody there's turned up that's a nasty piece of work. So let's say it's unlikely to be any gunfighty trouble. So if I get a 5 or 6, somebody's going to pull a gun for some reason. Now, Friday night, nice and straightforward. Nobody pulls a gun. The Mexican, the Mexican is coming towards this gunfighter chap near the fence. They've fallen out. They've fallen out over women, and they've both been hard at the liquor. And so there's trouble. There's trouble at the mill. But first, they're going to throw 2d6, and the highest win. The black one is the gunfighter. Okay, the Mexican's going to go first. Now he needs 7 or more to do what he wants to do. He's quite a long way away for a pistol. They've only got a range of 6 inches. But to be honest, I think I want to get a shot in before the other fella does anything. So I'm going to shoot at long range. So it will be 7, because it's long range, it's 8. And that's a miss. I don't have to reload, because if I would reload, I would have got a double. So now the cowboy shoots back. He's going to see if he moves. He can only use 1 dice, and he's going to need. Well, if he moves and he gets close, he could shoot on a 6. It's 1 dice. It's not great odds, is it? Because then the Mexican's going to have a pop at him. So he's going to jump over the fence. And to do that, he's got to get 7 or more. Yeah, got 7. So he jumps over the fence like that. That's his move. The Mexican, seeing that, worried. He can't back down. Right, okay, I'm going to walk forward and take 1 shot. That's what I'm looking for. I need a 7. Yep, now I've got a double 6. I've got doubles, so, which means I get a bonus dice. So he's going to move forward the distance of 1 of those dice. Luckily, they're both the same, 6. He moves forward 6. Get rid of that. Now he's still got 2 dice because of his bonus. Now he's going to shoot close range. Needs it would be a 7. It becomes a 6 because it's close range. Well, that fella is behind a fence, so it goes back to a 7. 11. He shot him. It's not hard to find. So I throw a d20, it tells me what part of the body the shot has caught. So it is 15, and a 15 is the elbow. So he's been shot in the elbow, and I get for damage 15 again, he cries out in agony and stumbles away. So he's run off. He's run away, flee! And the Mexicans won. Hurrah! Now, if that had happened for real in town, Bass Reeves, the sheriff, would pop up and try and arrest him, and it would all go wrong. There'd be big battles and dire prognostications. And then perhaps, depending on what mood I was in, maybe his band of brothers and friends, there's quite a few Mexicans, they might come and try and spring him from jail. Or the locals might try and lynch him. Depends what mood I'm in. I don't know. There's no rhyme, no reason to this. It's not clever stuff. it's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's a weird old bloke in his 70s playing cowboys and Indians. In fact, if I had I've got a cowboy hat actually. I might even wear my cowboy hat. Every self-respecting child in the 70s and 60s, 60s, yeah, especially, everybody had a cowboy hat, everybody had a sheriff's badge, and everybody had holsters and guns, and cap guns. Remember cap guns? And you put like green paper in, you fed it up like that, little black explosive dots, and but boom, it banged like a proper, you could smell it, gunpowder. Oh, cap guns. And then you might be Native American, and you also had a big long headdress and a bow and arrow with a little rubber sticker on the end. Didn't matter, it had a rubber sticker, it hurt like beggary. And your mum would say, don't shoot it at anybody, shoot it at a target. So you go outside and you'd think, oh, don't stick in the bricks, and you'd think, oh, it sticks on glass. So you'd shoot it at the kitchen window, and your mum would come out and say, don't you shoot that at my windows, go shoot it at something else. So, of course, you go and shoot your best mate. He's only got a cap gun. I'm shooting you. Just saying, bang, I've got a proper thing here. Ah! Fantastic. Do you know? Well, happy days. And actually, they were. Oh, man. Ta-ra, Chuck.